You guys ready for this one? You can sit back and relax. It's that opening meditation. You can close your eyes if you like. We can feel that there's a potential within us. We can also feel that this potential wants to be expressed. We can see that everyone is hurting in some way, even ourselves, and that pain is making us all do crazy things. That pain arises because of causes and conditions, and those causes and conditions can be changed. New thoughts, words, and actions can be initiated or taken up that are wise, skillful, and nobly worthy of an awakened being. This will then lead to a life of freedom and true authentic happiness, an awakened life. A life that expresses that potential that we all can feel within us. I want you to imagine that world of potential. Imagine a life of freedom, and imagine a world where everyone is free and truly happy. What does that world look like? What does that world feel like? And how would you think, speak, and act in that world? To help us actualize that potential, we call out now to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, masters and teachers of the Dharma of the 3 times and the 10 directions. Please consider us with kindness and understanding, and grant us your blessings that these aspirations may be accomplished quickly. May it be that we all swiftly achieve enlightenment for the sake of all beings. Open your eyes, come back to us here. So today we're on the second element of true love, Karuna or compassion. And so the second element of true love is compassion, Karuna, and has the wish that all beings are free from suffering. And the action, right, because we're active, we're in the world, right? It's one thing we can just be all wishy, may everyone be free of suffering, right? But we need to help. We need to take that wish, that energy, and put it into some sort of action, right? Action, it doesn't have to be grandiose, big things. Small moments of true connection, being present with people, true seeing, not skirting away from the awkwardness of the moments, right? True presence, and reaching out in some way to help alleviate the pain and hurts of others. And just like, maybe it's just sitting silently, right? And being present to other people's pain, right? Thich Nhat Hanh had this to say: to develop compassion in ourselves, we need to practice mindful breathing and deep listening and deep looking, right? So the last 5 weeks has been about that, right? It's tough to just jump right into being compassionate and caring for people if we're all caught up and jacked up in our own stuff. So the last bunch of weeks we've been circling toward compassion, softening ourselves, softening our perspective, opening our hearts a little bit, right? And that breathing that we do in that calm abiding meditation that we do every time helps soften. It's our medicine, right? It's our lifeline, our anchor to the present moment, right? So that we can be present in ourselves, right? And that our mind can be serviceable, stable, a little bit sane, right? A little bit of sanity, right? And once we start to get that, then we can start to look a little bit more deeply at our own pain, at the pain of others, right? We can listen. We have a listening. Our listening is different too, right? Because it's more patient, more stable, not so quick and eager to respond or be right. That's a big one. The Lotus Sutra describes Avalokiteshvara as the bodhisattva who practices looking with the eyes of compassion and listening deeply to the cries of the world. Compassion contains deep concern. You know the other person is suffering, so you sit close to her. You look and listen deeply to her to be able to touch her pain. You are in deep communication, deep communion with her, and that alone, like you, brought some relief, right? And that, the practice helps us be in those moments, right? To be in those moments. One compassionate word, action, or thought can reduce another person's suffering and bring him joy. One word can give comfort and confidence, destroy doubt, help someone avoid a mistake, reconcile the conflict, or open the door to liberation. One action can save a person's life or help him take advantage of a rare opportunity. One thought can do the same because thoughts always leads to words, which always lead to actions. Right? And that's why we use the breath. Right? Stabilize. The body becomes stable. The breath soothes. Right? Then our mind, let this mind quiets for a moment. Right? With compassion in our heart, every thought, word, and deed can bring about a miracle. Right? Every thought, word, and deed. This is a continuation of last week's teaching from, I'm going to mess it up again, Nayana Ponika Terra. Is it better? Yeah. Nayana Ponika Terra. The world suffers, but most people have their eyes and ears closed. They do not see the unbroken stream of tears flowing through life. They do not hear the cry of distress continually pervading the world. Their own little grief or joy bars their sight and deafens their ears. Bound by selfishness, their hearts turn stiff and narrow. Being stiff and narrow, how should they be able to strive for any higher goal, to realize that only release from selfish craving will affect their own freedom from suffering, right? And that's like this practice from the beginning. Everything that we've been doing has been softening us, helping us break out of our own shell of selfishness, right? Helping us be a little bit more at ease with ourselves, gentle with ourselves, compassionate with ourselves, right? So we can see differently, speak differently, act differently, even if that is starting with ourselves, right? It is compassion that removes the heavy bar, opens the door to freedom, and makes the narrow heart as wide as the world. Compassion takes away from the heart the inert weight, the paralyzing heaviness. It gives wings to those who cling to the lowlands of self. Through compassion, the fact of suffering remains vividly present to our minds, even at times when we personally are free from it. We don't run from it. We're not scared of it any longer. It gives us the rich experience of suffering, thus strengthening us to meet it prepared when it does befall us. Compassion reconciles us to our own destiny by showing us the life of others, which is often much harder than ours. Behold the endless caravan of beings, women, men, and beasts, burdened with the sorrow and pain. The burden of every one of them we also have carried in bygone times during the unfathomable sequence of repeated births. Behold this, and open your heart to compassion. And this misery may well be our own destiny again. He who is without compassion now will one day cry for it. If sympathy with others is lacking, it will have to be acquired through one's own long and painful experience. This is the great law of life. Knowing this, keep guard over yourself. Being sunk in ignorance, lost in delusion, hasten from one state of suffering to another, not knowing the real cause, not knowing the escape from it. This insight into the general law of suffering is the real foundation of our compassion, not any particular isolated fact of suffering, right? Just like when the people at your work, right? They don't know that they're caught, right? They don't, right? And that, maybe before we would criticize them, chastise them, want to fight with them, right? But as compassion opens up and flows through you more fully, you see, oh, they're hooked, they're hurting, they can't see a way, they don't know a way out, right? Hence our compassion will also include those at this moment who may be happy, but act with evil and deluded mind. In their present deeds we shall foresee their future state of distress, and compassion will arise. The compassion of the wise person does not render them a victim of suffering. Their thoughts, words, and deeds are full of pity, but their heart does not waver. Unchanged, it remains serene and calm. How else could they be able to help them? May such compassion arise in our very own hearts, compassion that is sublime nobility of heart, and intellect which knows, understands, and is ready to help. Compassion that is strength and gives strength. This is the highest compassion. And what is the highest manifestation of compassion? To show to the world the path leading to the end of suffering. The path pointed out, trodden and realized by the perfection by him, the exalted one, the Buddha. Yeah. So the more and more that we work with these four sayings, the more and more we work with ourselves, the more and more that we don't hide from our own hurts, the more and more that we don't turn a blind eye to the hurts of others, right? This compassion and this loving kindness and these practices innately touch the calm stability within you, right? Open you up to a potential that's there, right? That we don't know is there, right? That maybe we felt a couple times, but now we can see that it's a latent potential, and we open to it more and more, right? And more, right? To ourselves, which isn't the easiest sometimes, right? We're our own worst critic, our own worst enemy, right? To our friends, to our family, strangers, right? No. Compassion is a moment to connect in a disconnected world, right? In this world where we think we're connected, we're probably even more disconnected than ever, right? Yeah. And compassion, like tied into love and kindness, that friendliness, right? Yeah. More and more, right? It opens us up, slows us down, right? That another person's pain and frustration isn't such a burden in the moment, you know? No. Okay. Guys want to meditate?